Who here feels like they have no idea what they're doing?
Okay, so I saw this picture on Twitter, and why is Trevor Jackson in Grey's Anatomy? That was my sign for a rewatch. So here we are. Grey's Anatomy, the show that just keeps on giving. The medical drama launched back in 2005 and quickly became a cultural phenomenon, and it shows absolutely no signs of stopping anytime soon.
There was a moment where it was unclear if they were going to air it. They didn't like it.
I'll be honest, I was a bit late to the party, but for real, this show got me through lockdown. Between baking sprinkle cake and binging this show, it was a time to be alive, and briefly made me delusionally consider a career in medicine. A show hadn't hit like crack like this since the summer I discovered The Vampire Diaries. I repeat, what a time to be alive.
So pick me, choose me, love me.
One thing I grew to respect about the show is that they weren't afraid to kill off even the most endearing patients and sometimes doctors. The show said anyone can get it, and they meant that. Today, we are not just scratching the surface, we're performing a full, in-depth, exploratory laboratomy into the heart of what made us fall in love with Grey's Anatomy. With the latest season just released, this video will be recapping seasons 1 through 5, the foundational years, the era that created legends, broke our hearts, and defined a generation of television. Get comfortable, grab your favorite comfort snack, and maybe a whole box of tissues, because we're about to relive every single glorious, agonizing moment. Let's talk about it.
A month ago, you were in med school being taught by doctors. Today, you are the doctors.
Like I said earlier, our journey begins in 2005, a simpler time when a little show called Grey's Anatomy dropped us into the chaotic, high-stakes world of Seattle Grace Hospital. Season 1 is a short but perfect season. With only 9 episodes, it sets up everything that made the show a global phenomenon. It all starts with a pilot, A Hard Day's Night, and the most iconic one-night stand in TV history. Our protagonist, Meredith Grey, wakes up after a hookup with a random stranger, only to discover on her first day as a surgical intern that he is her boss, Dr. Derek Shepherd, the brilliant head of neurosurgery. And, well, obviously it's awkward. The chemistry, though, is electric. The kind of chemistry that has you kicking your feet up in the air, smiling at the screen. It's the kind of forbidden, complicated romance that will become a cornerstone of the show.
Say hello to your competition.
But Meredith isn't alone. She's thrown into the fire with 4 other surgical interns who will become her family.
You should get some sleep. You look like crap.
I look better than you.
Not possible.
There is Cristina Yang, the fiercely ambitious, brilliant, and emotionally guarded cardio goddess. She breathes surgery, lives for the cuts, and quickly forms the iconic Twisted Sisters bond with Meredith. Their friendship becomes the unbreakable backbone of the show.
Let me guess, you're the model. Hi, I'm Isabel Stevens, but everyone calls me Izzie.
Izzie Stevens, a former lingerie model who paid her way through medical school. She's often underestimated, but has a huge heart, sometimes to a fault, and a fierce sense of loyalty. She's the emotional core of the group and often clashes with the cold realities of hospital life.
What are you smiling at, 007?
George O'Malley, the sweet, earnest, and often clumsy underdog who constantly tries to prove himself and often gets walked all over. He's nicknamed 007 after a disastrous first day where he almost kills a patient. He's the one you want to root for, and he's constantly trying to prove he belongs.
Alex Karev, nice to meet you.
And lastly, Alex Karev, the arrogant, misogynistic prick who's dubbed Evil Spawn. The typical tough guy with a dark past who uses his bravado to hide his insecurities. He's incredibly unlikable at first, but underneath that abrasive exterior is a deeply wounded soul with surprising skills and a capacity for growth. His eventual transformation is one of the most compelling arcs on the show.
That's the Nazi?
I thought the Nazi would be a guy.
And let's not forget their resident, Dr. Miranda Bailey, affectionately known to the interns as the Nazi. She's a force of nature, a brilliant surgeon who's as tough as they come, but underneath the stern exterior is a deeply caring mentor who genuinely wants her interns to succeed. She's a fierce advocate for them, demanding excellence and pushing them to be the best. She often serves as the moral compass and at times the comedic relief. And along with McDreamy, there's the other attending, the extraordinary cardio god, Dr. Preston Burke, as well as the chief of surgery, Dr. Richard Webber. The show's brilliance lies in how it weaves the interns' personal dramas with gripping medical cases.
Still, Mr.
Cruz. Jorge Cruz. He tripped and fell down a flight of stairs holding a nail gun.
Season 1 is full of memorable patients who teach our interns harsh realities about life, death, and what it means to be a surgeon. We see the interns struggling with grueling 48-hour shifts, the competition for a spot in the OR, and the pressure to impress their attendings. Meredith and Cristina become the sharks of their class, hungry for any opportunity. George is left to do the grunt work. Izzie gets too emotionally invested in her patients, and Alex tries to scam his way to the top. This season also establishes the professional rivalries among the attendings. We see the power struggle between Derek and Preston as they're both aiming for the chief of surgery position, which adds another layer of tension to the hospital dynamics. This show is also a masterclass in voice-over narration, with Meredith's internal monologue bookending each episode. She offers profound insights into her dark and twisty nature, her fears, and her hopes. She's grappling with her identity as a daughter of the famous surgeon Ellis Gray, who is now suffering from Alzheimer's. It's a quiet, heartbreaking subplot that grounds Meredith's character and shows her deep vulnerability.
I'm not dating you, and I'm definitely not sleeping with you again. You're my boss.
I'm your boss's boss.
While the medical drama is high, the romance is even higher. The central romance is, of course, Meredith and Derek. They are constantly drawn to each other, sharing stolen glances in halls and intense private conversations in the elevators. They want us to believe that they tried hiding it, but I'm sorry, they did not give a toss. Their connection is pure tension at this point, and their will they, won't they dynamic kept me on the edge of my seat, like I was eating it up. But it's not the only romance. George's massive unrequited crush on Meredith is a source of both comedy and heartbreak. His feelings are a constant obstacle for him, making him feel even more like an outsider.
Dr. Yang? Dr. Burke?
We also see the beginnings of a secret, passionate relationship between Cristina and Dr. Burke. It's a fascinating dynamic. Two brilliant, driven surgeons who are surprisingly tender with each other in private. Their shared love of surgery is their common ground, but their different approaches to life creates an intriguing conflict. The season themes are all about crossing lines, the interns with their attendings, and Izzie with her patients. The season finale, Who's Zooming Who, is a game changer. After 9 episodes of build-up, Meredith and Derek finally get on the same page. They seem to be on the verge of a real relationship. Meredith has let her guard down, and for the first time, things feel hopeful. But this is Grey's Anatomy. And just when you think you've got it figured out, Shonda Rhimes pulls the rug from under you. As Meredith and Derek are about to leave the hospital for a night together, a stunning, elegant woman in a trench coat approaches them in the lobby. She's beautiful, confident, and she has a devastatingly simple line that changes everything.
I'm Addison Shepard, and you must be the woman who's been screwing my husband.
And that's it. End of season. It's one of the most iconic cliffhangers in the show's history. It completely redefined the show's central romance and introduced a new layer of complications that would fill the seasons for drama. We are left with so many questions. Who is Addison? Why is she here? Surely our McDreamy is not a cheating scumbag. Surely. And what will happen to Meredith and Derek? Season 1 of Grey's Anatomy was a masterclass in character introductions, a perfect blend of humor, high-stakes medical drama, and heart-stopping romance. It laid the foundation for a show that would redefine the medical genre and capture the hearts of millions.
Derek's married.
Season 2 is the season that blew up the love triangle, broke our hearts, and proved that Grey's Anatomy was a force to be reckoned with. It kicks off right where we left off, with the bombshell arrival of Dr. Addison Montgomery Shepherd, Derek's estranged wife. Meredith is left reeling, feeling like the other woman, and Derek is torn between the life he left behind and the new complicated love he found.
Came home with full-on vomit drama. Apparently, she dumped Derek, and she's been sleeping with Burke.
The first half of the season is a masterclass in romantic angst. He's torn between his sense of duty and his undeniable raw chemistry with Meredith. Meanwhile, Meredith, heartbroken, tries to move on. This leads to one of the most famous, gut-wrenching, and embarrassingly vulnerable scenes in Grey's Anatomy history. Meredith confronts Derek, delivering the iconic "pick me, choose me, love me" speech.
So pick me, choose me, love me.
It's a moment of pure vulnerability and desperation, and it perfectly encapsulates the pain of waiting for someone to choose you. But like, girl,
stand up! Stand up!
Derek, still unable to leave Addison, walks away, and the heartbreak is palpable.
I know I don't have much experience with this kind of thing, but aren't boyfriends supposed to help in situations like this?
Burke and Christina's relationship hits a slight road bump when Burke wants to be official and public, but Cristina is hesitant, not fully ready to commit. After a brief back and forth, Cristina agrees to commit and they are official. They are brought even closer when Cristina suffers an ectopic pregnancy. It's a sad moment for them, but it's sweet in the way they are able to lean on each other. We also see the deepening of friendships. The twisted sisters bond between Meredith and Cristina become unbreakable. They are each other's persons, offering a raw, unfiltered support system that is the heart of the show.
Who's Mark?
Derek found us in bed together.
This season also brings a new face to the hospital, Dr. Mark Sloan, a charismatic plastic surgeon who happens to be Derek's former best friend. We later learn that the reason Derek left his wife and his life in New York was because he caught her having an affair with Mark, aka McSteamy.
What about me? Am I moving?
Yes, they are.
Beyond the romance, season 2 is also packed with gripping medical cases that push our interns to their limit. We see them take on more responsibility and face situations they never could have imagined. For me, the show's brilliance lies in its ability to humanize every patient.
Just no one's really talking to us.
Just about you. I know what that's like.
These cases are more than just medical puzzles. They are lessons in empathy, morality, and the human condition.
Okay, he's been in love with you since day one. There's no way you didn't know that.
A major storyline this season is George's crush on Meredith, which comes to a head in an incredibly awkward and ultimately disastrous one-night stand. Going through an intense heartbreak, in a moment of utter hopelessness, Meredith allows George to have his moment with her, which is just as bad as it sounds. As they're beginning to do the deed, Meredith bursts into tears and begs George to hurry up and finish.
You can't fix this with George. If it comes to choosing sides, I'm on his.
It's heartbreaking and severely uncomfortable for everyone involved, especially us, the audience. It's one of those difficult moments that is hard to choose sides, but I strongly disliked how everyone mainly blamed Meredith for it, as George knew she was in a vulnerable place and it was the wrong time for him to make a move on her, something he later admitted himself. This strained their friendship, obviously, and left George feeling humiliated. This plotline, though, is a pivotal moment for George, pushing him to find his own confidence outside of his unrequited love for Meredith. And I cannot stand the audacity of Mr. McDreamy basically calling Meredith a whore, saying they're done. Like, bro, you chose your wife. You guys have been done, but okay. This season also introduces us to Dr. Cali Torres, a confident and brilliant orthopedic surgeon who becomes George's new love interest. After a brief waiting period due to his, let's go with shyness, George finally gets over himself and calls her, leading to them officially dating. Izzie and Meredith initially struggle to accept her, but over time, they accept the relationship. Mainly because Callie had to convince George to talk some sense into his friends. But I digress. I know some fans may find them cute, but knowing George and how he acts when he is in love, like the way he was with Meredith, it was clear from the jump that she was way into it than he ever was. And it hurts every time watching it. Their relationship, for the most part, is her feeling insecure in it, and only when she tries to leave does he make any attempts to fix them. It clearly wasn't something he was deeply feeling, so thumbs down. They serve a perfect example for women should only date men who are more into them because was shambolic.
Is it a crush? Is it an innocent flirtation? Or Steven's actually crossing the line?
But the most devastating storyline of the season, and perhaps the entire series, is Izzie's relationship with her patient, Denny Duquette.
The hospital grants you 4 months to retake the medical board exam.
Just as Alex and Izzie were getting closer, the news of him failing his exams and needing to resit got to him a little bit, causing him to push Izzie away. Their failed romance opened her up to meet and eventually fall in love with Denny Duquette. Denny is a charming, funny, deeply ill man with a failing heart. Izzie falls madly in love with him, and their forbidden romance is both beautiful and tragic. When Denny's condition worsens, Izzie makes a desperate, ethically questionable choice. She cuts his LVAD wire to make him sicker, forcing him higher on the transplant list. The plan works, he gets new hearts, and they get engaged. Consequences be damned, Izzie was ready to lose it all for love.
I don't feel guilty, and I know that I should, but I can't feel anything but happy.
For a brief, shining moment, it seems like they will get their happy ending. But this is Grey's Anatomy, so,
I think it was a stroke.
The season culminates in the emotional gut punch of the 2-part finale, losing my religion. Denny's new heart eventually fails and he dies, leaving Izzie completely shattered. Like devastated is an understatement. This scene is absolutely gut-wrenching. Izzie, in her beautiful prom dress, is a picture of profound grief. Her friends find her, and their reaction, the sheer helplessness in their eyes, is a testament to the power of their bond. It's a moment that defines Izzie's character and the emotional landscape of the entire series.
I thought I was a surgeon, but I am not. So I quit.
The finale also brings a dramatic resolution to the Meredith, Derek, Addison love triangle. Derek realizes that he just can't live without her. Naughty, naughty, they basically have sex while he's technically still with Addison, and her finding Meredith's underwear in his pockets effectively ends the relationship. But it's not all rosy up ahead, and as the tide changes, it's Meredith's turn to play hard to get.
You are dark and twisty inside, Meredith, and now Izzie is dark and twisty inside.
Season 3 is all about consequences, new beginnings, and the painful process of learning from your mistakes. Season 3 opens up in the emotional wreckage of the Season 2 finale. Izzie is a shell of her former self. Her life is a mess. She quits the surgical program, and her friends are trying to figure out how to help her. Over the season, we watch her slowly build herself and her career back up. She is surprisingly given her job back, and thanks to Denny's will, she is a millionaire. After spending some time agonizing over what to spend the money on, she eventually decides to donate it to Dr. Bailey's passion project of a free clinic inside the hospital, the Denny Duquette Memorial Clinic, which was very sweet. And after finding out Meredith and Derek slept together, Addison runs back to Mark, further confirming the end of their marriage.
There's this thing that allows for the considering of options.
Dating.
Yes, I'd like to try that.
The love triangle finally really ends now when Meredith breaks up with Finn, who she has been dating alongside Derek, acting like she's unsure who she wanted to be with. Like, girl, please. With Derek and Meredith finally together, you'd think it'd be smooth sailing from here, but nope. The path forward is anything but easy, and we come to learn that it never will be with these two. Goodness gracious.
What are you doing?
Meredith is still dark and twisty, afraid to commit, and Derek is still trying to mend fences with Addison. The episode, What I Did for Love, perfectly encapsulates this tension, with Meredith trying to figure out her place in Derek's life, while still dealing with her own insecurities.
I love you.
Towards the end of the last season, Callie told George that she was in love with him, and he didn't say it back. Coming up with some bullshit, like if he said it now, it wouldn't seem genuine.
Let me go.
Stop fighting me. If I say it back right now, you know I'm just saying it because you said it to me.
The relationship is kind of short-lived though, because they have another fight after George asked her to move in. He struggled to live with her and then bitched about her to Meredith instead of just talking to her. When confronted, he goes on about things were moving on too fast for them, despite the fact that he's the one who asked her to move in with him. You know, making this video reminded me of how much I gotta look at George sideways. Because with Callie, he really sucked. He wasn't this helpless puppy that didn't know what was going on. He was just terrible to her. And I don't know how I feel about it, because my girl Callie did not deserve all of that. So yeah, the fight leads to them breaking up, and it's even worse because George didn't even seem to notice. She ends up sleeping with Mark, so that's done for a while.
We got married in Vegas.
But then they are reunited when George's dad has some health issues, and after he tragically passes, George impulsively proposes and they get married in Vegas.
I'll look at you, and you'll know the side end to do the sutures we've practiced.
Nobody has to know.
And back with another main couple, their relationship faces a massive obstacle when Burke develops a hand tumor after he was shot in a season 2 finale. In a moment of poor misplaced loyalty, Cristina secretly helps him perform his surgeries. This is a massive ethical breach, and it puts her in an impossible position, forcing her to choose between her professional integrity and the man she now loves. After a long time of keeping his tremors a secret and basically performing his surgeries, Cristina goes to the chief and confesses everything, unable to cope with the pressure. Initially, this results in a cold war, with them not even speaking to each other, but when Cristina breaks the silence, he proposes to her and she accepts. After thinking about it for a hot second.
Are you saying yes?
Yeah.
Professionally, we see our interns locking in as they are getting closer to becoming residents. The competition for surgical spots is fiercer than ever, and everyone is just trying to prove their worth. The interns also have to deal with more mature and complex medical cases. The show's ability to blend medical oddities with heartfelt emotional stories is a hallmark of this season.
It's just that I've
I don't
been...
have time to cuddle you right now. I'm trying to save lives here.
A major storyline of this season is Meredith's relationship with her mother Ellis as her Alzheimer's is progressing. Meredith has a complicated relationship with her mother as she was extremely overbearing, intense, arrogant, and put her work above absolutely everything. The storyline forces her to confront her past and her own fears about becoming like her mother. The scenes between Ellen and Kate are pure gold, and they add a new layer of depth to Meredith's character. The most heartbreaking moment in this plotline is when Ellis has a brief moment of clarity and asks Meredith to talk about her life. She wants to know her daughter. Her feelings, talking about feeling happy and the importance of love, pisses Ellis off.
Imagine my disappointment when I wake up after 5 years and discover that you're no more than ordinary.
Obviously, this cuts deep. Even I was like, damn. It leaves Meredith stunned, and in the latest scene in the episode, she tells Ellis that the reason she's so unfocused and ordinary is because of Ellis. Ellis happened to her.
I'ma just scoot on over and let you whack him.
Get her again. Get her for me. The plotline is somewhat resolved in a later episode when there's a mass casualty at the pier and Meredith is accidentally thrown into the water. Meredith resurfaces for a brief moment but goes back under straight away, giving up and basically letting herself sink. When she is eventually found by Derek, she is rushed to the hospital, and in a coma, she has conversations with several characters who we've seen that have passed away, including Denny and Bonnie from the train episode. She also has a conversation with her mother, who, in the real life, is basically dying. Ellis tells Meredith that she's anything but ordinary. It's a small moment of validation that Meredith has been waiting for her whole life. But we're left to question if it was real and it counts, or just Meredith's hallucination. It does, however, help Meredith to deal with the loss, forcing her to confront her grief and move forward.
I feel different. I want to be better at everything, and I want to let you in.
With this whole ordeal, we also find out that all those years ago, Ellis had an affair with Meredith's now chief of surgery, Richard. They made a pact to both leave their partners and start a new life together. But at the very last moment, Richard changed his mind, unable to leave his wife. And this left Ellis so devastated that she even attempted to take her own life. Meredith had to save her and call the ambulance. It was a heartbreak that Ellis never seemed to truly heal from.
Meredith,
Just because you slept with my mother, that does not make you my father.
Derek saving Meredith was also incredibly tense and a huge moment for the relationship. He realized that while he was refusing to give up on her, she had basically given up on herself. He essentially begs her to fight for herself as he knows she's a good swimmer, so she clearly didn't fight hard enough to survive. He low-key clocked her suicidal tendencies.
Give me my husband back.
With George and Izzie, their romance becomes a major point of contention. George's sudden marriage to Callie is thrown into chaos when he and Izzie realize they have feelings for each other. It's a messy, complicated, and ultimately doomed romance. I could have been here for it if they hadn't done Callie so dirty. Again. My girl was such a sweetheart and absolutely did not deserve any of that. Frankly, she was above his league. The storyline divides fans to this day, but it's a crucial step in both of their character arcs. It shows George finally getting the girl he wanted and realizing she's not the right person for him after all. As George and Callie are still navigating their messy separation, Callie finds a surprising growing friendship with Addison, who has her own heartbreak to deal with. Because after things didn't work out with Derek, her and Mark give things a go, but that doesn't quite work out either. Then her and Alex have a brief fling, but obviously, that doesn't work out either. Like, my girl could not catch a damn break. Callie and Addison's friendship is a highlight of the season. But unfortunately, this doesn't last very long as Addison leaves the show. She leaves Seattle Grace for a new life in Los Angeles and will given a backdoor pilot to her spin-off show, Private Practice. If you have seen it, do let me know in the comments if it's good and it's something you'd recommend. I'm curious about it. Because 6 seasons is a decent run for a TV show, especially a spin-off. So I'm curious.
I've given you the day off, the whole day. It's a kindness. Take it. It's your wedding day.
The season culminates in another emotional and shocking finale, all about new beginnings, but not in a way we expect. Cristina and Berg are supposed to get married, but just before the wedding, Berg has moments of clarity and finally realizes that he's been trying to change Cristina into someone she wasn't, and it's not fair for either of them. At the wedding, in a heartbreaking twist, he leaves her at the altar. This is something we could have expected from Cristina, but not from Preston. It's a gut punch of a scene that leaves Cristina completely shattered.
He's gone. I'm free.
Like, she was ready to do whatever it took to make it work. She was a real ride or die, and he just left her. It's such a shame that the actor who played Preston was fired, because I would have loved to see the awkward aftermath in the halls of Seattle Grace. Season 3 of Grey's Anatomy was a roller coaster of emotions. It showed us that even when you get what you want, it's not always what you need. It was a season of profound change, with our characters facing their past, making hard decisions, and learning to live with the consequences.
Would you look at the residence? Big snazzy residence.
Season 4 opens up with our beloved interns officially becoming residents. They are no longer at the bottom of the food chain and now have their own class of interns to supervise. This is where we meet some of the new faces who will become a big part of the Grey's Anatomy universe. The most significant new character is Dr. Lexi Gray. She is Meredith's half-sister, a bright, bubbly, and incredibly smart intern who is eager to connect with Meredith. But Meredith, still dark and twisty, is less than thrilled about having a cheerful younger sister following her around the hospital. She at first is very standoffish, but eventually they all come around to liking her, including Meredith. The dynamic between them is complicated and beautiful, and it's a reflection of Meredith's journey to accepting her new family.
I feel like a fraud.
I rocked it. I think I'm the new Nazi.
Oh, you are not the new Nazi.
This season shows our core group navigating their new responsibilities. Meredith, Cristina, Izzie, and Alex are all trying to prove they are worthy residents. Cristina, still reeling from being left at the altar, just throws herself completely into work, becoming more brilliant and ruthless than ever.
You can start from the very beginning.
Repeat my entrance.
Oh, and George? He's still reeling from the fallout of his affair with Izzie and his failed marriage to Callie. To make things even worse, he failed his intern exam, leaving him to be the only one out of the 5 to fail, which is a major blow to his confidence and a huge setback in his career. As a repeat intern, he becomes popular among the new interns as they have no idea that he's been there for a year, so he seems more knowledgeable and skilled. And he eventually becomes the chief's intern, which is technically a job that Chief Weber made just for him. Over the season, he develops a strong friendship with Lexi and moves in with her after his breakup with Callie. Lexi discovers that he only failed his exam by 1 point, and George confronts the chief, asking to be allowed to retake the exam early. He passes and is able to join his class, becoming a resident.
The almost guy. All that separates me from the rest of my class is 1 point. 1 point?
This storyline highlights his struggle and his constant feeling of being the underdog and learning to be a bit more focused, proactive, and aggressive about his goals.
I asked for too much.
I think so.
At the same time, Cristina found out Preston left her at the altar at the end of the last season. Meredith breaks up with Derek, not convinced that the relationship would work. With this season, they try to stay apart, but end up having breakup sex / starting a friends with benefits type situation. As they technically aren't together, Derek flirts with and then kisses a nurse named Rose. When Meredith finds out, she decides to cut off all ties with him. This allows Derek to begin dating Rose properly, but as they begin their Alzheimer's clinical trial together, Meredith's feelings for him start to reappear, to absolutely no one's surprise. While Meredith and Derek are doing what they do best, new romances are brewing.
This exhilaration, it's like I finally figured it out.
After the complete breakdown of George and Callie's marriage, he and Izzie decide to give their romance a real chance. However, after failing to recreate the great sex they had once before, they decide that although they have great chemistry, it's just not the right time for them and decide to just stay friends.
Because I get it, I suck. I suck at my job, I suck as a wife, I suck all around, so.
And poor Callie, first she gets a divorce, then she loses her job as chief resident, which she was struggling to make work anyways. She runs back to Mark and starts a friends with benefits situation. But the real romance is between her and Erica Han, who is hired to replace Preston as chief of cardiothoracic surgery. I hate to say it, but I didn't really like Erica. I think it's mainly because of the way she treated Cristina, basically refusing to teach her and let her learn.
Now, you want to work here with my residents, then you need to do better.
When Erica and Callie begin to develop a friendship, they are initially teased by Mark, who notices that there might be something more going on, especially for Callie. This is the beginning of Callie questioning her sexuality, and in denial of her being anything but straight, she starts using Mark for sex more, but eventually, towards the end of the season, she puts herself out there, be more honest with herself, and makes a move on Erica. Also, Alex and Lexi start a brief fling, which is interrupted when a patient from the last season, who Alex saved from the pit accident, returns.
I've done this before.
Alex.
She's just going through a bad patch.
Alex and Rebecca start seeing each other, but when Rebecca becomes unstable and hurts herself, she has to be referred to the psych ward, and through it all, Izzie is there for him, though he makes it difficult at times. Finally accepting that Rebecca needs help allows Izzie and Alex to come back together. This whole saga shows us a different side of Alex. We see his more caring, deeply devoted side, which we learn stems from him having to take care of his mother when he was growing up.
Please.
We obviously get more memorable patient storylines. These cases are always fascinating and emotional, showing the doctor's incredible skills and compassion. I always enjoy looking them up because some cases turn out to be based on real-life rare diseases. One of the more emotional, patient-influenced storylines is with Meredith's clinical trial with Derek. They are trying to save patients with inoperable tumors, and it proves to be incredibly difficult. They face constant setbacks, losing all their patients except for one.
This over here is our kitchen, and this is our living room.
After their last clinical trial patient survived the surgery, Meredith and Derek celebrate, and she shows him a house of candles she made on the land that he bought to start a family with her. It's absolutely adorable and a big step for Meredith as it demonstrates her readiness to commit. She's always been sort of running away, half in, half out, so this is something huge for her. And trying to take steps forward, Meredith asks Derek to move in with her, and he accepts. Finally, we're getting somewhere with these two.
I'm here feeling like a lame-ass loser. I got all whole and healed.
Season 4 of Grey's Anatomy was a season of transition. It was about our favorite characters moving past their past mistakes and into a new phase of their lives. It was about finding new family members, new loves, and new dreams. It was about facing the future of new hopes and fears, and it set the stage for one of the most dramatic and emotional moments to come.
We were just deciding which of our interns to give to George.
Now that we've navigated the messy resident year and the introduction of new characters, we've now arrived at a season that changed everything. Season 5 is a season of hope, love, there's lots of that going on this season, and heartbreak. And it gave us one of the most unforgettable and devastating finales in television history.
G.I. Joe traked him at the field before I got there.
With a pen? You traked this guy with an 8 pen?
This season introduces a new pivotal character, Dr. Owen Hunt, a trauma surgeon with a military background. He's a no-nonsense, brilliant doctor who immediately challenges the way things are done at Seattle Grace. He has an intense, spark-filled connection with Cristina, and their first kiss is one of the most memorable in the show's history. I was living for my girl Cristina, because finally, or so I thought. Because his military past also comes with a lot of trauma, and his PTSD becomes a major storyline that tests their relationship from the very beginning. When Owen almost strangled Cristina to death during a nightmare of his time at war, he wants to end things with her, but she fights him, insisting that she understands and she can handle it. But later, after they have sex for the first time, Cristina admits that she can't take it, and this causes them to break up, for now. With the other twisted sister, Meredith and Derek are finally, truly finally together. They are serious, they are committed, and ready to build a life.
Spend the rest of my life with you.
And I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Derek proposes to Meredith in a very personal, unique, and incredibly adorable way. He doesn't just get on one knee and gives a speech. He fills an elevator with scans and files of their memorable moments together at the hospital, like the CT scan of the patient from their first surgery together. Oh, it's so unique and adorable. I was living. There was no way she could say no to that, and obviously she didn't. It's just a perfect moment for them. Very cutesy, very romantic. I approve.
I'm your teacher.
So, teach me.
Oh, Lexi.
And with the other Grey sister, Lexi has been harboring a crush on George for a hot minute now, but he's failed to notice her. But Mark does, and starts teasing her about it. Meredith notices Mark noticing Lexi and tells Derek to warn Mark not to go there. With that, we get this infamous warning.
Keep Little Sloan out of Little Grey is my point.
What?
Little Sloan does not enter Little Grey.
But it seems like her being unavailable to him only makes Mark want her more. Mark is impressed by her photographic memory and how it helps patients, so he begins to work with her more. The relationship officially starts, though, when Lexi goes to his apartment, takes off her clothes, and tells him to teach her. She may be quiet and shy, but she got some game. I'll give her that. She seduces him, and they get together, keeping it a secret from everyone for the time being. At this point, it seems like Mark is just obsessed with Derek and just needs to be part of his family somehow, whether it's with them or in them.
They think that you're taking advantage of me. They think that I'm using you, but they don't know us.
On the other side of the hospital, another new couple is beginning their journey.
I am so gay.
When Erica, who has always been with men, is very vocal about her gay awakening, this pushes Callie away. Though Callie's bisexuality is not necessarily a failure to commit, Erica is hurt by what she sees as a grey area in the relationship. She would rather have straight answers and claims that you can't kind of be a lesbian.
How is Steven still working here? How is Seattle Grace still accredited?
And things with Erica's character ends quite abruptly when she's written out of the show in the first few episodes into season 5. She gets into a fight with Callie when she finds out about Izzie stealing the heart for Denny. She wants to report Izzie, but Callie is against it, and Erica just leaves the hospital parking lot, quitting her job abruptly.
This is Arizona Robbins. This is who I'm dating now.
Dr. Arizona Robbins, a pediatric surgeon with a sunny, optimistic disposition that is a stark contrast to the darkness and twisty vibes of most doctors at Seattle Grace, begins a little something with our Callie. They have an immediate connection, and their blossoming romance is beautiful. However, Callie's lack of experience with women makes Arizona hesitate for a few episodes, but they get over it eventually and they're fine.
Dixon's right, you know. You do belong in ped surgery.
This season is also a time of personal growth for Bailey. who finds a new passion for pediatrics and a new mentor in Arizona. But this new passion comes at a cost. When Bailey considers a pediatric surgery fellowship, Tucker, who is her husband at this time, gives her an ultimatum, either him or the job. She ultimately decides to leave him, but also doesn't accept the fellowship due to her becoming a single mom. Like, it would just be too much for her at this point, which is fair.
Izzie, you can't touch me.
You're not real.
A major storyline this season, and one that divides fans to this day, is the return of Denny Duquette. I personally could have gone without this whole storyline. I felt like he dragged the season down, and even the actress, Catherine, agreed. But basically, Izzie begins seeing and communicating with the ghost of her dead fiancé, and initially, it just seems like she's struggling with the unresolved grief. But as the visions become more real and more than just hallucinations, they reveal themselves to be a symptom of a deeper problem. For a few episodes, we are left wondering what's happening to Izzie, and all her friends are worried about her mental health.
You can handle this. She will get better.
Maybe. Maybe not. It's on me.
Through the confusing ordeal, Alex steps up in a way that we're starting to expect of him. He is Izzie's rock and her anchor. He's the one who gets through to her, and he's the one who shows her unconditional love. The relationship is such a testament to how far Alex has come, especially from his evil spawn days. As Derek and Meredith's wedding is approaching, Meredith gives Izzie the job of planning it to give her purpose and a distraction from her visions. Izzie, of course, goes all out.
Oh, I can't come in. I have cancer. I'm bedbound.
It's a sweet, hopeful subplot that contrasts the underlying tension of Izzie's health. The truth about Izzie's visions is revealed in one of the season's most heartbreaking episodes. She realizes that Denny's ghost isn't just a symptom of grief, he's a symptom of her cancer. She's been seeing him because she's dying, as she's diagnosed with stage 5 cancer.
You say they need to be around the people who love them because it's going to be the toughest fight of their life and no one should have to do it alone.
The show beautifully portrays the emotional toll of a cancer diagnosis. Izzie, with the help of her friends, especially Alex, begin to fight for her life. The residents come together to find a way to save her, and they rally around her in a way we haven't seen before. With Izzie's life hanging in the balance, Meredith and Derek make a beautiful, selfless decision. They realize that Izzie and Alex deserve the wedding they've been planning, and they basically give their wedding to them. The wedding is an emotional, beautiful event that celebrates the love between Izzie and Alex and the friendship of the entire group.
This is our wedding. I post it?
If you sign it.
In a perfect, understated moment, Meredith and Derek write their vows on a post-it note, promising to love each other even when they hate each other. It's a beautiful encapsulation of their real, imperfect, and enduring love.
Unidentified male dragged by a bus. He's clamped down so he couldn't innovate.
Didn't they stop when they hit him?
The season culminates in one of the most gut-wrenching and shocking finales in TV history. It's the moment the show proves it's not afraid to break our hearts, and that it did because I did not see the heartbreak coming. A massive bus accident brings a flood of trauma patients to the hospital. One of them, a John Doe, is so severely disfigured that he's unrecognizable. He was hit by a bus after pushing a woman out of the way, and he's a true hero. The doctors work tirelessly on him, but his injuries are catastrophic.
Neuro ICU at Seattle Grace Hospital. Did you get the damn thing out?
Got the whole damn thing.
In a parallel storyline, Izzie has a risky surgery to remove her tumor. The surgery is a success, but she struggles with a brief loss of short-term memory. Her friends are relieved when her memory returns, but their joy is short-lived. The show pulls off a double whammy in the final minutes of the episode. Izzie flatlines after the surgery, and her soul, in her prom dress, steps onto an elevator. Then, the unrecognizable John Doe, struggling to communicate, traces 007 on Meredith's hand, revealing his true identity.
George! It's George! John Doe is George!
It turns out to be George O'Malley. And guys, I am still shooketh. In their defense, George had become pretty relevant at this point, but still, not one of the first ones we met. The season ends in a truly shocking cliffhanger. Izzie's soul sees George on the elevator, dressed in his army uniform. Both of them, in the veil between life and death, technically on the verge of death, and were left with the agonizing question, will they survive? It's a moment that no doubt left the fandom in tears, and marks the end of an era for the show. It's a cliffhanger that left millions of viewers in tears and cemented Grey's Anatomy as a show unafraid to go to the dark, most emotionally devastating places. I could not imagine having watched this and having to wait a whole year for the next episode. Crazy. Low-key, this is why I wait till a show is finished and then watch it, because all this waiting business, hell no, my little heart can't take it.
Screw the DNR. Hand me those paddles.
Gang, take over compression square back.
Season 5 of Grey's Anatomy was a season of profound change and unimaginable loss. It showed us that even when you have hope, tragedy can strike at any moment. It was a season that challenged our expectations, broke our hearts, and left us with a finale that we will never forget. Even though I still kind of forget it when I rewatch the show. Like, during my rewatches, George's death takes me by surprise every time. But I think that might say more about me than the show, so yeah, fair enough. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our recap of the first 5 incredible seasons of Grey's Anatomy. This era gave us iconic characters, unforgettable romances, groundbreaking medical cases, and some of the most heartbreaking moments in television history. I'm talking about you.
So pick me. Choose me. Love me.
It was a time of immense growth for our interns, transforming them into residents and ultimately into the surgeons we would follow for many, 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 many years to come. The early seasons of Grey's taught us about love, loss, friendship, ambition, and the brutal beauty of life and death. They set the standard for medical dramas and created a fandom that remains fiercely loyal to this day. We may not be the loudest, but we're definitely out there because they keep giving us more. What was your favourite moment from season 1 to 5? What character arcs resonated with you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more just like this. Also, do hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's a beautiful day to save lives. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!